Welcome to Amateur Redneck Workshop. I'm Harold, and I've sometimes been told I talk too much. Well, I'm in a talkative mood today, so I'm going to talk a little bit. First off, I got some stickers from Mr. Vernon Courier for his, oops, it's upside down, Mature Patriot channel, and I've had them a little bit, so I have to apologize for taking so long to get them up, but everybody sends me stickers knows it may be 2 or 3 weeks before they show up on the board. And I had, this is the extra one, I was standing up there trying to peel the thing off from the corner out here, until suddenly I realized that there was a little seam running wrong in the edge there where I could just peel that sucker off. The things you don't notice, you know. I've been watching a lot of videos here lately because it's been raining like crazy and all that, so I sort of was confined to the inside. In fact, we had a thunderstorm today, got over 2 inches in about 2 hours, most of it in the first hour. And tomorrow is the 5th Sunday of this month, which doesn't happen very often. It's supposed to be the 22 Fun Sunday, but I got a feeling that it's not going to happen because there's a 50% chance of rain from 4 a.m. way on down there to around noon or beyond for tomorrow. So there you go. Anyway, I needed to practice, so I've been practicing for it, and I'll just continue on to practice because 2 Sundays after that we'll got the Steel Challenge. Anyway, I've been watching a lot of videos, and I've noticed that I'm not the only guy that has, you know, confusion about spelling English words. There's a lot of other people that do. And some of the common words that get mixed up are Vise and Vice. Now you'd say, well, that's the same word. No, V-I-S-E is a device that you put on a workbench for clamping things. It's, we've all seen one of them. And Vice, V-I-C-E, is a bad habit, a sort of, well, they spoke unkindly of it in the dictionary. But anyway, there we got Vise and Vice. Now I can imagine how people who are just starting to learn English can get mixed up with some of this stuff. And then there's another one that we have that's really good, is Gage and Gage. And yeah, sound like the same word. It's kind of like when I was trying to learn Arabic from some of the guys, and bird was hammam, and the bathroom was hammam. And I don't know if I was taking a dump on birds or what, you know, or whatever, but I never did get it right, and it all sounded like the same word to me. So I finally gave up on that word. Anyway, this other word is Gage and Gage. And you got G-A-G-E, which is kind of like a pledge to pay something. You know, it's like a mark gauge, you know. I got that one out of my head. But anyway, gauge is a pledge to pay something. And a gauge, like a feeler gauge or something like that, is a G-A-U-G-E, which also is used in measurement of the gauge of sheet metal and the gauge of your shotgun. And you know, surely you noticed the gauge of your father-in-law's shotgun. Maybe not. You might have been too busy. Anyway, it's just amazing that we got all these words that get mixed up, and it's good for you to look to the dictionary before you put it on anything. You know, if you like putting it on a piece of metal or something, because it's a lot harder to correct from there than if you just put it on the title of the video. And I'm guilty of being mixed up some too. When I started these videos and I spelled amateur, I spelled it wrong. And one of my nieces sent me an email and said, "Did you mean to spell that wrong, or is that just a mistake?" And I had to admit to her it was a mistake because I didn't realize what I was doing. That's the easy one to correct, though. You just go back and change the name on the videos. Or actually, I just changed the name on YouTube, and it changed the name on the videos for me. But that's neither here nor there. And in the new YouTube news, I watched Mr. Joe Ray, who has got Cyclops videos. He does a lot of scope reviews, and a lot of air rifle reviews. I saw his video he put out today. It was short and sweet. It seems that they finally got around to some of the smaller channels, I guess, correcting them, now that they've banned a bunch of the big channels, and they demonetized half his videos. And I thought, well, that's incredibly wonderful. Myself, I've only had 4 videos demonetized so far this year, and they got a new way of doing it. They don't just outright demonetize it, they just mark it not suitable for most advertisers, which means if you got a little channel, you're not getting any advertised on that video, you know. My huge take on YouTube has gone down from $65 a month to $50 a month, and I guess 4 videos since January, it isn't going to have caused any problem with that. It's just my videos suck, you know. That's the only thing. That's the only excuse there can be for it. And here I am making another one that'll fit that proposition. But let's get down to today's problem or subject. Is this little guy right here. Now he's the guy that's going to carry the torch for the team, and he's going to slide up and down here. And this has been the most complex part of the whole thing. Special pieces made here to hold the belt as it comes across. Vernier bearings to slide around on for the up and down. And then I had to make this little guy here to hold the torch. He's going to be clamped on the front here like this. And that's not even finished yet. I've got the little screw that goes in here to run the thing up and down that I've got to build mounts that are going to go on here. I got to build mounts for that before it's ever finished. So this, I've got a good week in this thing right here with all the stuff I had to do, and a real pain. But I guess I thought a couple of times about a commercial product. I'd say it's about the same size of plasma tables I'm building, and I started to say I was going to describe it as one of the low cost ones, just because I assumed that because it's small and doesn't have as many features as the big ones. I don't know how much it costs, but on the torch height, they've got a wing nut, and you just set the torch down and stick a little spacer under it, tighten the wing nut, and that's the torch height. Let me get my tang untangled here. That's the torch height. All right. So we're gonna go on into the video, and I'm sure this is gonna probably come out after July the 4th. So I want to say a happy July 4th to all my countrymen, and happy Colonial Uprising Day to all my British viewers. In fact, I've got more British viewers than I got Canadians. I guess they're still frozen up there. I don't know. Anyway, let's get on with it. The torch will hook on right here. This holds so I can tighten the wheel on the other side like that. And I spent a whole day redoing this thing right here because I didn't like the way that it looked or fit. And to make this thing get enough height to get over these things here, I actually put a piece of plywood in there as a spacer because I don't want it dragging down here. You can see I got open air space now. So, having spent an extra day on that, that's one day less video. And I'll have to make something here to fit the torch onto. I've measured the torch, and so I can be thinking on it. I'm going to have to put a little arm that'll come over here and come over here to clamp onto the belt that's going to pull this guy back and forth across the gantry. So there's that, and then once I've got that done, well, the next step is hooking up the electronics. And I haven't yet got a box to put the electronics in, so tonight, it's about 9 o'clock right now, tonight I'm going to go and order one. I've got the dimensions 10 by 10 by 6. That's pretty well minimum dimensions. and that's what I'm going to order. Now this part is the most time-consuming piece of the whole thing because it's really conglomerated there, all clustered up. Everything's too close together. So I need something to pull it back and forth with the belt. So I had to make this piece here that runs around, screws onto this plate, and it's, you know, got room out here. I can latch the belt onto it. So you can tell by looking down in there, there's not a lot of room in any direction. It's just kind of complicated there. But my screws came through right there like that, so gives me plenty of room. Everything's tightened down and you're going to hold together. All I got to do now is put the screws into there, and that piece will be finished. The next piece is a little mount right down here for the torch, and that'll probably take me a couple of hours because I'm not real fast and not real good. So there you go. I'll move on to the next thing. Alright, so I need to make a hole that would fit the outside part of the torch there for about 1/2 inch, is 1.26 inches. This little piece down here that sticks down is 1.014. So I need 2 sizes of a hole in this block right here. Where it goes out on the bottom, it's going to be just 14 thousandths over an inch, and the main part of it is going to be 1.260 inches, a little over 1.25 inches. So that block came from Mr. Vernon Courier the other day, and it's coming in handy. Previously, a minute ago, I said I still had the torch holder to go, but I've also got the bearing mounts and the motor mount and the bearing and the motor coupling to finish working on too. There's still hours worth of work yet before I get down to the part where I can set it up and run things around and see if they move right. And then after that, I've still got to make the little bed to hold the metal. So we're still a long ways from the end, but we're getting closer. I said you might want to see a little grizzly drill a big bare hole. That's a 7/8 bit there, and the other one in here's a 1 inch. I think that's all of them I got with a small shank. I had it running too fast to drill the hole. I had to slow it down. This ought to work a lot better. Alright, that's a 7/8 hole. The 1 inch will come next. So, you've seen one hole, you've seen them all. And of course I want this to be the right size, so I'm boring it. And I'm feeding it with the Harold Redneck patented tire feed. All under that little Arduino up there in that box. I intend to bore it out to the bottom part of it, I guess the bottom 1/4 inch or so, 1.014, and then the rest of it's going to be about 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch and 1.260. There. I'll get it said. Alright, so now I got this guy bored, and you can see there's a shoulder down in there where it's smaller on that end for the smaller part of the torch, and the torch fits right in there nice and snug with the working parts sticking out, and you can see that it's right up close there and right up close here. So the next step is I need to split this thing right across here. But before I do that though, I'm going to drill the hole to pinch it with. Well, that's all, folks. Y'all try to subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Leave a comment if you got something to say. And above all, remember, keep on keeping on. Bye now.